Hello friends, I think a lot of people remember that piratomania began in 2000, so to speak, and I'm not talking about torrents right now. At the beginning of 2000, the first game about pirates, Corsairs, was released, which I personally played in Zolop, and she, in turn, pulled a whole series of games about pirates. And finally, in 2003, the film Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl is released. It is about how this film was shot and what happened behind the scenes that I want to tell you. Let's agree in advance, if you learn something new from this video for yourself, you like it, if not, you can dislike or turn off the video with a calm soul. So to say, that everything would be fair and your likes would motivate me to make content for you as best as possible. Well, now let's get started. Let's start, perhaps, with the fact that the very idea of creating a motion picture in which humor, fiction, adventure and romance will intertwine came to screenwriter Gregor Verbinski when he was writing a themed water slide at Disneyland. Yes, the slide was called Pirates of the Caribbean, and its name became a whole era of cinema. And the premiere of this film took place on June 28, 2003 in Disneyland itself, and it was the first film that was shown in an American amusement park. Later, after the premiere, the attraction was closed for reconstruction in order to add several quests based on the film. I must say right away that the links to all the videos that I will use in the video will be in the description. Suddenly someone wants to see them in their entirety. The filming of the pirates themselves, oddly enough, took place on the real islands of the Caribbean Sea, as well as the Aborigines of South America were involved in the extras. In total, about 20 islands were involved in the filming, and the crew had to work very hard in the open sea. Because Disney was a little late and failed to rent a shooting pool in Hollywood, where they shot Titanic and Pearl Harbor at one time, and all because they were outpaced by their colleagues in the workshop who began shooting the film Master of the Seas there. An interesting fact, initially the name of the film was simply Pirates of the Caribbean, but the filmmakers realized that there was a possibility of a sequel and therefore expanded the name with the prefix, The Curse of the Black Pearl. In addition, maybe someone did not know, but the island of Tortuga, or as it is also called Turtle Island, which is very often mentioned in the movie, is one of the islands of the Caribbean Sea, and at one time, in fact, real pirates seized ships there. And yet, the East India Company, which, according to the plot of the film, is fighting pirates, actually also existed and branded pirates. Only they burned the brand on the forehead, and not like in the movie on the forearm. And besides, there were many such companies themselves, each country created its own. For example, there was also the British East India Company. It was created by decree of Queen Elizabeth I on December 31st in 1600, and for many years it brought income to Britain and its depositors and was liquidated only in 1874. Do you remember the flag emblem under which the Black Pearl floated? So, this emblema was borrowed from the real pirate Jack Rackham, the prototype of which was the main character of the film Jack Sparrow. But, the pirates themselves most often sailed under a flag convenient for them, that is, it could be the flag of any country, and they raised the pirate flag only at the moment when they were already attacking another ship. Also, according to the script of the film, the Aztec gold that everyone was chasing so much was cursed, but after filming, almost every participant from the film crew took one coin as a keepsake. In addition, watch the end credits of all the films to the end, as after them, small scenes follow. Next, we will go with you to two paintings at once. These will be The Dead Man's Chest and At the End of the World. Why two at once? Yes, because the plot of these parts is too closely connected and the film crew filmed both of these parts at the same time. In addition, the total budget of these films amounted to more than $500 million. Also, despite the fact that the filming of the paintings ended a long time ago, you can see the Flying Dutchman. It was towed to the private island, Castaway Cay, which belongs to the studio. I think it's no secret that the main villain Davy Jones was not wearing a mask, but was created using the motion capture technology, as well as the iMocap system. This system uses computer vision methods to track the actions of actors on the set. By the way, you can observe the real reaction of the actors in the last scene, where Captain Barbossa suddenly appears because before shooting the final scene, Gore Verbinski said that Anna Maria is coming down the stairs now, so the surprise of the actors in this frame is real. And also, do you remember the moment from the movie where Jack Sparrow, stop, Captain Jack Sparrow, runs around with a jar saying the words, jar with earth? So, this remark was not known to the actors, so in this frame, the surprise on their faces is also real. After the first part of the picture became a success, in the future the producers did not skimp on creating a beautiful picture. As a result, 3,500 candles were used to illuminate the Bay of the Lost Ships, and during a large-scale battle at sea, rain is 100,000 liters of water per minute, which were poured on the ships. In addition to all this, the film was the first in history in which the water surface was completely modeled on a computer. The film Pirates of the Caribbean, On Strange Shores was actually an adaptation of the novel by Tim Powers, which was called In Unknown Waves. However, in Russia the novel was published only in 2011 and then under the title On Strange Shores. And on top of everything else, as we already know, in the fourth part of the film we have a new heroine, Angelica, whose role is played by Penelope Cruz. However, at the time of filming, the actress was in a position, so in some episodes she was duplicated by her sister, with whom they are very similar. By the way, despite the complete absence of the ship, Black Pearl, in the film, you still saw her in the film, without knowing it. I'll explain now. To save the budget of the film, the role of the ship of the Blackbeard, Queen Anne's Revenge, is played by the same galleon that used to portray the Black Pearl. It was just made up a little. By the way, who didn't know, the pirate Blackbeard is a real pirate. In 2010, archaeologists found a pirate saber from the sunken ship, Queen Anne's Revenge. Well, some interesting facts from the filming. For example, during the shooting of the film in London in October 2010, Johnny Depp received a letter from a local 9-year-old schoolgirl, who wrote that her classmates needed help to create a rebellion against teachers. Johnny showed up at school unannounced in full Sparrow attire, but advised against a riot. Also, there was a very tough selection of mermaids, because Jerry Bruckheimer gave the directors strict instructions about the natural female breast. He explained it this way: I don't think they had breast augmentation in the 1700s, so it's natural that casting people says, we want real people. Well, let's move on to the last part of the pirate franchise, called Dead Men Don't Tell Fairy Tales. By the way, in some countries, the film was released under the title Salazar's Revenge. The film itself could be the last in this franchise, especially considering its failure compared to other parts, but already now we know that a sequel will be released in the future. And a few interesting facts, for example, a bottle of rum that Jack does not part with. This is a real antique of the 18th century from England. Also, the incredibly detailed decorative city of St. Martin occupied a whole 5 acres of land in the suburbs of the city of Maudsley. Despite the fact that most of the houses have only facades, but the tavern and the navigation house are completely made with a realistic and atmospheric design, over which a team of decorators tried. For the bank robbery scene, the decorators specially erected a copy of this 18th century bank itself, but only around the tractor. This is done so that the tractor driver can see the direction of movement through the false plexiglass facade, but you and I saw only 4 walls. Also, in order to properly age the clothes of the heroes, Penny Rose and her team used a number of interesting techniques, including scrolling costumes sprinkled with stones in a concrete mixer or even using a cheese grater to create scuffs on the costumes, and sometimes they even just burned holes in the costumes with a regular blowtorch. In addition, Johnny Depp's character was planned as a minor character. Thanks to Depp's efforts, the script changed and made the hero the most vivid and memorable in the whole film. Johnny himself said that in the primary scenario, his character was the most ordinary thug who waved a sword and had fun with women. Then, to come up with an image of the hero, Johnny went to the sauna. Why to the sauna? And the fact is that the pirates spent most of their time in the open sea in the sun, so Depp decided that he needed to feel all the torments of that time and thus went to the sauna. After a long visit to the sauna, Johnny barely crawled out of it, but he came up with facial expressions, habits and the famous gait of his hero. But, the actor does not deny the fact that he copied part of his image from his best friend Keith Richards. But not everything is so simple. The producers of the film were not very happy with such serious changes in the script, so they assigned an informer to Depp, who followed the actor's performance and, if he departed very much from the script, he immediately reported upstairs. But, as for me, all this acting has pulled this franchise to a fairly high level. But, everything could have been different, since Christopher Walken was casting for the role of Jack and it's hard for me to imagine it, but Jim Carrey could also get the role. Just imagine Jack Sparrow performed by Jim Carrey. It seems to me that would not be the case. Also, some of Jack Sparrow's winged expressions have become iconic. For example, the expression, "Are you savvy?" It was Depp's usual improvisation, but it stuck tightly in the minds of the audience. In general, the artist improvised a lot during filming, and some of the moments that we see on the screen were his initiative, not the idea of the screenwriters. In the description under the video, I will leave a link to all the winged expressions of Jack Sparrow. For a long time of filming, the entire creative team of the film became very friendly, and at the end of the process, the guys gave Johnny a huge cake with the image of floating ships and the inscription, "Our dear Captain Sparrow, may your compass always lead you to us." The new Pirates of the Caribbean have not yet received an official name, but some details are already known. For example, the estimated release date of the film falls on 20 to 21 years. According to the creators of the film, the pirate Jack Sparrow has already outlived himself. This is very clearly seen in the last part, where any other pirate could play his role. Therefore, in the sixth part, the creators decided to do without Johnny Depp. Which is a little sad fact, because personally I can't imagine this movie without this hero, and I can't even imagine who can replace him, but there is already a replacement. Captain Jack Sparrow will be replaced by a pirate named Red. This character is the heroine of one of the attractions at Disneyland, so in general it is logical that the new story will be dedicated to her. Who will be in the role of this pirate and how long she will stay in the film, we will find out very soon. There is no exact information about the old heroes we love, but one thing is for sure, all the old heroes should be replaced with new ones. Therefore, it is quite possible that we will meet the old ones in some episodic roles and no more. Also, the script of the film, as you have already understood, has been written for a long time. Two screenwriters, Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, are working on it, who previously worked on creating a script for Deadpool. The main thing is that the film does not come out the same as Deadpool, and this is where our pirate journey has come to an end. Remember our agreement: if you learned something new from the video, I'm waiting for your like, because the work on this video was very painstaking, and in general, how can I not like Captain Jack Sparrow? Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. See you soon.